The guy that is here right now, you never traded your own capital, right?
No.
You traded only simulators and then went to trade a pool.
Yes.
It blows my mind to think of trading that way. You never risked your own money, besides, of course, the fees that you paid for the evaluation. But not risking your own capital when you're trading, it's
really important. It's really important. I don't understand how anyone that's new to trading could actually do this some other way. It's I think it's actually quite ridiculous to trade your own money without even knowing how the market really works and not even knowing how you work under pressure and how you're. It's a lot more difficult than I thought. So this for me is it's exactly what I needed. And the rules, once you understand the rules, you build your strategy around the rules. The rules aren't difficult. It really is. It's really straightforward. It's there. It's paper. Just back test and do your research and do your work, and then just adapt to the rules, and that's it. The 10-cent rule actually really helped me a lot. And it's actually a very good rule. I thought that when I first saw it, I thought this is going to be a problem, but it's not a problem because it's just adapt to it. That's what you have to do. If you can't adapt to the rules, then trading is not for you. You have to adapt to the flow of everything.
Welcome everybody to another Funded Trader or Traded Pool. Today, Alhadeff is with me, a new funded trader of the 5K account. How are you doing? Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. And it's interesting. A lot of the times I will do interviews with funded traders that trade in $200,000, $100,000. It's also very unique to have someone that I'm interviewing on a 5K. And so I'm happy that you came and we can share the knowledge of what you gathered. And let's start with the first question. Why did you start with the 5K?
Yeah, that's for me. It was very important because I don't have any trading experience besides sim accounts. So the 5K is a proof of concept to see if my strategy is actually working. If I can't do it in a 5K, how would I be able to do it in a 200K? My objective, obviously, is to get to a 200K account. But I think I have to start with the most difficult part, which is funding a small 5K. What I've read, apparently, the 5K is what many traders have said is like the hardest one because of the small drawdown. But I think it's all about maths. If I can do this in the 5K, I can do it in the 200K. Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I love it that you started with the 5K because I always say it in the interviews and webinars and whatnot. Start with the 5K, as you just mentioned. Once you prove yourself that you can do that, then go for a bigger account. It doesn't make sense to go with 200,000 on your first attempt. So learn the rules, learn the program, see that you can handle everything, and then go for a higher tier. So that's super important that you did it. And second thing, as you mentioned, it's not about harder to pass on a 5K. The small drawdown is comparing to the risk that you're taking, right? So on a 5K, you will take $10 risk or $20 risk and not 200, right?
Sure.
So it's just math. So 100% agree with you on this one. Tell us a little bit about the background. You said you traded simulator accounts.
Yes, I've tested a lot of strategies. I've tried to learn as much as possible in sim accounts. I started with crypto, then I went into futures, and I just stocks seem to click a lot better with me, especially the breakout strategies. And then just stocks. It's always a catalyst. It's always something that's moving. It's a lot more exciting for me, and I just grasp it better.
Yeah, makes sense. So what's the strategy you're looking for? Like you said, breakouts, breakdowns. How do you find the right asset to trade on?
For the most important part of my strategy is stock selection. I really go into it a lot. So I was looking at the breakout in the long ways, but I realized that when I want to go long, when the move is usually over by the time I've done all my research on the stock, I really go into quite deeply into why the stock is moving. And for me, more than anything else, more than indicators, is a catalyst. So that's why I'm going short, because by the time I've done all my research, the move is usually over, but I can short it. Yeah, that's mainly the main reason that I'm doing shorts is because of that, because I really do. I look into as much as information as I can on that stock.
So mostly it comes from the fundamental side of the company, basically.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and shorting seems to be easier for some reason, which I'm not sure why actually, but it seems to be for me. It seems to click a lot better. I think the moves are more sustained, and eventually everything that goes up goes down. But I mean, sometimes in the market it's not true. So I'm very careful on selecting that right stock.
Yeah, it's always harder to build something than to destroy it, right? When you destroy something, it drops dramatically faster. So before we'll go to your dashboard and look at some of your trades, how long you been trading a sim account?
About 8 months before I tried all the strategies and everything I did. I tried to pretend it was real and for the discipline factors, but sim is so much easier than a real account, which for me, Trade the Pool is for me is a real account. It's although I don't have my own all my risk, all my money into it, but for me it really is. So I realized that my discipline, the first time I tried, I realized that my discipline was lacking a hell of a lot. So I started using discipline and training techniques for my discipline, which I'm actually a dog trainer for many years. So I've started applying dog training methods to my own discipline, and it worked. It really worked. So my main factor in the sim account was the discipline. And that's why I actually did really badly my first account, because my strategy went out the window and I started scalping. The minute I saw green, I'd get very nervous and I'd try to get out, and then I just made a small move. It was pointless, so I have to go back into the market, more risk. I mean, it was really ridiculous how the first challenge was really, I did really quite badly, I have to say. And this challenge, I started doing much better, and then I went back into the old habits. And you'll see in my dashboard, it really goes down a lot. I nearly failed this account also. And then I managed to get my head back into the proper space. And from then on, it's been quite, once I follow my strategy, it's really quite easy, but it's not that easy to follow the strategy in difficult moments. Well, I actually wanted to share one of my training for discipline. I put myself in dog training. You never train something that's very difficult while you're doing that action. You train many other exercises that are around what you want to do. So I don't train my operational work while I'm in that area. So you choose a lot of exercises that will make your job easier, or will train the reflex in your head to go better. So what I did was I put myself into difficult situation that I needed to have a strong discipline. And my one of the most difficult things I did to train my own discipline, I went to my good friend's birthday party. He had a big barbecue, and I made sure that I didn't have one single beer. Right, so that was that I trained myself for discipline and for many things. And there's also, I've done many of those things just to train my discipline. Also, I have to have Nutella in my house hidden away. And now it's not hidden away. I have to train myself not to open that jar, and many other things that have actually really, it's an anecdote, but it's helped me with discipline, and I've actually even lost weight thanks to trading. So
So good things happen when you're trading, right?
exactly.
That's amazing. For how long do you do that until you feel like you're in control? For example,
Yes,
with the beer
until I see results. And yeah, as I said, the first challenge was really quite bad. Now I've started seeing results, and now I feel much better about everything. I know it's going to work. It's just a matter of 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 not taking profits too soon. That's my main problem, which I actually talked to Joe about this in one of the webinars you have in your Discord. And he gave me a few good pointers, and yeah, that's the main thing that I have is when I see green, I get very anxious. That's the main problem I have.
Okay, that's also something that we can talk about. But before that, I gotta stop for a second and go back like 5 minutes ago or 4 minutes ago. And the guys that listening right now, it's super important. The guy that is here right now, you never traded your own capital, right?
No.
You traded only simulators and then went to trade a pool.
Yes.
It blows my mind think of trading that way, not risking for literally you never risked your own money, besides of course the fees that you paid for the evaluation, but not risking your own capital when you're trading,
It's really
insane.
important. It's really important. I don't understand how anyone that's new to trading could actually do this some other way. It's I think it's actually quite ridiculous to trade your own money without even knowing how the market really works, and not even knowing how you work under pressure, and how you're it's really quite it's a lot more difficult than I thought. So this for me is it's exactly what I needed. And the rules, once you understand the rules, you build your strategy around the rules. I've read a lot of stupid comments on before. I did a lot of research on Trade the Pool, obviously, like anyone should do.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the rules are very difficult. The rules aren't difficult. It really is. It's really straightforward. It's there. It's in paper. Just back test and do your research and do your work, and then just adapt to the rules, and that's it. The 10-cent rule actually really helped me a lot. And it's actually a very good rule. I thought that when I first saw it, I thought, look, this is going to be a problem, but it's not a problem because it's just adapt to it. That's what you have to do. If you can't adapt to the rules, and trading is not for you, you have to adapt to the flow of everything.
For sure, 100% agree with you. I'm gonna share my screen, your dashboard, to show the guys at home how it looks like. So for those of you not familiar, every trader gets his own dashboard. The dashboard will show you your stats, the risk parameters, and you can really understand your progress and look at your equity curve. You can also check your achievements and payouts and customize your view, switch between light mode and dark mode. So this is the chart. Let's talk a little bit about that. Again, you traded a 5K account, which might not sound a lot, but once you prove yourself that you can make it on a 5K, it's much easier for you to go to the 50, 100, 200,000, etc. You needed to reach only 6%. That's the target that we're looking for. So that's $300, max loss 200. Tell us a little bit about this balance curve. You started well, dropped down, almost blew the account, and then bounced from it.
Yes, I got quite excited that I was doing very well. I had a really good success rate, almost like 94%. And then I started getting nervous and I started scalping again. And that's how I completely nearly blew my account. And then I got a really good trade that went into a halt, and it made me, and I had to take profit 120, and it went all the way to 180. That's why I had to make 360 to pass the eval, because I went over the 50% rule. And so instead of making 300, I had to do 362. And that was that trade that actually got me back up. And then eventually, once I got my head in the right space again, then the success rate also was quite high. It went all the way up to
74%, very high. The risk reward is negative, but with that number of success rate, you will be profitable.
Yeah, I have to work on the risk reward. I'm getting better at it, but I really have to work on that.
Looking at your, like you said, mostly shorting those small caps. What is it about small caps? Why not going into the large caps and looking for shorts?
Because usually the movements are a lot more predictable, and the catalyst, as I say, is usually I'm usually looking for catalysts that are PR fluff, like nice, good headings for algos and things to pick that up and shoot it up in the sky, and not really have a strong catalyst. That's what usually is and that usually happens in small caps, medium caps, and things like that. I don't really see that there's such an edge like that. I'm actually studying a lot lately how the algos and bots work, not to actually trade with them. Maybe I will. I'd never say never. But pre-market usually has a lot more bots, and once you know how they work and how they analyze news, then you know how the market will work.
Yeah. And let's go back a little bit for what you mentioned about holding your position a little bit longer, right? You mentioned that you're looking at the green, you see that you're in profit, and you got to get excited and you want to click the mouse key to close the position, right?
Yes, that's 100% what's happening. And I'm really making a conscious effort to fix that, because then my trade, imagine if I have a 60% win rate and I had a 1.5 to 1, then, well, I'm doing that 200K tomorrow.
Exactly. So in order to do that, I do have a few tricks, let's say, that you can work with it a little bit. First of all, I mentioned that before, leave something on the table, even 5%, 10% of the account, of the position. Let's say you took 100 shares, leave 10 shares in and let it run. Once your brain will see that it works, you will start believing it and then leave more on the table, right? That's the first rule, super easy to put into the test. And the second thing, and that's actually one of the rules that really shift my trading, is just get rid of the P&L. Once you remove the box of the P&L and you're not watching a dollar up or down, you automatically focus yourself, your brain focus yourself to the performance, to the skill, to really focusing on execution and not about I'm up or down. So you choose your profit target by the chart and by what's going on the price action, and not by okay, I'm up by $10, $50 or whatnot. So these are definitely two things that will automatically increase that risk reward to a positive side.
I'm always looking at the P&L box, so that's something I'm definitely going. I'm like staring at that more than
Yeah,
the.
classic mistake.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Amazing. Okay, so first of all, thanks so much for sharing everything. I'm sure the guys that just listened will take a lot from it. And how was the overall experience with TradeThePool when you started all the way to right now?
Oh, 100%. Really, really good. I'm very, very happy. I'm definitely going to stick with TradeThePool for as long as I can, forever if I can, because the customer support was really good. Anytime I had an issue, they answered really fast. The Discord channel is very, very useful. I'm constantly in the Discord seminars and anything. I got a really good tool thanks to one of the seminars that I think Steven did about wave trend oscillator, and thanks to that my trending has also gotten a lot better, and see the educational content in TradeThePool is really good.
That's amazing to hear, and I appreciate the feedback. That's, looking at TradeThePool, it's not just about funding, it's about ecosystem that covers the trader from A to Z, from all angles: the education, the tools, the funding, the risk, anything that we can do in order to push you guys more and more. Cool.
Thanks.
Alrighty. So again, thanks so much. For those of you guys want to check us out, go to tradethepool.com, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Thank you very much.